uncertainty, Gregor, around Brexit, one of the things that concerns me is clients leaving funding or their need for cash a bit too late, and they don't know what challenges their business are really going to face. And what could they be doing now to think about their cash needs and giving themselves a bit more security?
I think a lot of clients don't plan ahead and aren't looking at their finances. They don't realise what options are out there. They're relying still very much on the banks, and the banks are very not keen on providing things like overdrafts, I think, as we've talked about before, unless you've got a higher level of security. And I think certainly since 2007, 2008, there are lots of different options since the credit crunch that clients aren't aware of. Lots of different companies have come into the market to provide really innovative solutions, revolving capital facilities, which is another name for an overdraft, which is external from the bank, invoice discounting, factoring type products, and also term loan products as well, which are separate from the bank, which can give a client quick access to cash when they need it for a specific project, or if you're getting yourself into some cash flow issues and you need to help yourself out of them.
And this would be in addition to their current banking, day-to-day banking. It would be a separate service that you would tie into the client.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of banks don't like having additional cash flow products tagged onto their own security, so every case is different, but we look at it on a case-by-case basis, and we can provide some individual tailored solutions to your individual client need.
So for many clients, doing something other than an overdraft with their main high street bank is actually a bit terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when they're then dealing with people that they haven't heard of their names before. As a professional in that sector, there are names that are very credible and have a lot of good reputation. I wonder if you could just give us a couple of examples of how that's a real opportunity and they need to look into it.
It's definitely an opportunity. I think certainly the service that we operate inside McIntyre Hudson, we've met a lot of these lenders. You know, we don't put anybody in front of anybody. We don't know how they're capitalised. We've met the directors of these alternative lenders so that we're doing our own due diligence on them before we put them in front of you, all your clients. I think certainly from our point of view, the opportunities are vast out there. We see lots of clients that have standard bank facilities which aren't providing sufficient working capital for their businesses or aren't flexible enough. They're doing a job, but they're not flexible enough, and there are so many different solutions out there for, as you said, very credible businesses that we can introduce you to, that we can give you details upon, which could give you the business a whole new lease of life or help it go in a different direction. And I think that's a really good thing for a business to consider, is what's out there. Have you looked at what you've got? Have you benchmarked it? Have you been to the market recently and said, what is available to me, rather than just being happy with what the bank are giving you?
Okay. So from March next year, the revenue are going to get much greater powers for people that haven't paid their tax bills, and suddenly will be a preferential creditor again in that situation. I think recently we've definitely seen a tightening of the revenue giving time to pay arrangements, and sometimes it's a bill a client will easily leave a bit and pay their customer, their customers first. So I wonder if there are any kind of solutions in that area that might be useful for people if they have a trouble with their VAT bill or have got trouble with a tax bill.
So there's a number of solutions in that particular marketplace. There's a great one which is, again, you can pay Section 455 tax, you can pay your VAT, you can pay your corporation tax, or even your self-assessment tax bill via these solutions. Only goes up to the next tax bill. The interest rates are very reasonable, and I think for lots of clients that we've seen, it's either you haven't prepared for your tax bill, as you've said, or you've got a lot of money in the bank, but there may be a better way of using that money rather than paying HMRC. No one likes paying HMRC, so if there may be a better solution, you can use that money and put it to work better in the business. Either by adding something to the bottom line, by buying new vans, for argument's sake, if you're a haulier, or something along those lines. And those solutions can help with your cash flow rather than just giving the money away out of the bank direct to HMRC.
And we've even seen it work really well with directors' personal tax bills.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, self-assessment tax bills. Yeah, it works for those as well. Yeah. Again, the values, it doesn't matter what the value is. We've done some really chunky self-assessment tax bills, sort of £500,000, all the way down to 10, 20 grand. So whatever your need, there is a solution out there for you.
And the time period for getting that kind of funding, is it quite a lengthy process?
No, so it's from my point of view, it's 3 bits of paper that we would deal with internally. We complete most of the application for the client, and then you're looking at probably a 3-day turnaround to get those approved. Anything below £150,000 funds out is also no personal guarantees as well.
Easy then. So Greg, it was great recently where we managed to enable a client to acquire a business which the high street bank said no to. It was a management buyout. That sub 5 million market can be challenging, and it's great he's now got a business that's actually doing really well. He's making good money, and without your funding there was no other way to do it.
No.
Is that a common situation in the marketplace?
It is, yeah. So the bank's certainly below, as you said, 5 million funds out on the MBO, MBI, that kind of market. Still are very cautious about the deals that they're taking. There are lots of solutions, and that particular client, we've gone in twice now with separate funding to help him acquire the whole business. So initially it was half the business, then it was the whole business, and now we're actually looking at an acquisition with him for him to back another business into that as well. So we've supported him all the way through the train to get him to where he needs to get to. I think the wider solutions market for that type of lending is vast. There are some very good challenger banks out there. I think there's currently something like 50 challenger banks with licenses, applications into UK finance in order to get approved. We have access to all of those. We speak to a lot of them quite regularly, and they're very keen on acquiring some of that business that the traditional high street banks don't want to do. So just because it's alternative finance doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a lot more expensive, or that you're going to be moving away from someone that you know to someone that doesn't have the same capital or the same expertise as the traditional banks do.
Yeah, I mean, even if it is a bit more expensive, it's the opportunity cost of getting into that business, which you wouldn't otherwise have been able to buy.
Absolutely,
so that's the cost of doing business, and it
Absolutely.
gets you to do that first time. It doesn't stop you rebanking it at a later date.
No, so some of them, are quite right, as you say, will be more expensive, but there are a lot, as I said, of challenger banks out there that are competing on very similar rates that want that kind of business that the banks are turning away because they have expertise in the transactional markets. That's where they want to play. So there are options. It is obviously, as you said, a case-by-case basis, but we'd be happy to look at any of those and see how we can help.
And in terms of personal guarantee in those areas, is that expected, you should expect it, or is it case dependent?
Well, personal guarantees are always a dangerous subject. Yeah. Again, it comes down to personal choice at the end of the day. It'll also come down to obviously the individual business case and what is actually being required, the amount being required, etc., etc. As we get over a certain level of funds out, let's say £1 million, actually the requirement for a PG tends to dissipate, purely from the point of view of who's got £2 million hanging around, that you're going to be able to pay the bank if they pursue you. Yeah. So actually, we tend to find that the need for a PG tends to be below that £1 million mark. Anything above that, it tends to be a notional guarantee as a sign of commitment and intent that you're backing your own business.